Hi guys, and welcome back to another video with me, Ali, doing Disney bounding. This one is actually for Universal Studios. This is my Patronus outfit. There are some bits that I forgot to record, but hopefully you'll see enough of the process here to see how we got from start to finish. Enjoy.
So I decided I wanted to fluff out these bows that I'd made so far for my Patronus outfit. I really like what I've done. I've got some little pins coming that I'm hoping to stick in the middle that are like dog Patronuses. They glow. But I wanted to sort of like make a bow to go behind the bow. So I've just cut myself out some of this fabric because I felt like this was quite relevant because it's like blues and whites and starry, etc. And the bag that I've got has got like a cosmos background to it. So all I'm going to do is literally fold this in half so the right sizes together and sew down and across, leaving a gap here. Sew down and across, leaving a gap here so that I can turn it inside out. And the reason I leave the gap at this point is because when you pinch it together, even though I will have hand stitched it, you kind of hide your hand stitching. I've done that with the first one already, so as you can see, I've sort of sewn down here, left a little gap, sewn across here and down here and left a little gap, and then I'll turn them inside out. And this is an example of what I've done with my Deathly Hallows one. When you turn them out, they sort of come out in this shape, and then it's just a matter of like pinching them together to give you the little bow. So that's what I'm doing at the moment for that. They're not attached yet to that because I'm still waiting for some pins, but I have attached the backs onto these particular bows. Those are the things that will attach it to my shoes. And then once the pins arrived, I will sew all these together, sew that on top of there, and that'll give me my bows for my Patronus. And I think because I've used this fabric in the bows, that allows me, because I've got some of this fabric left, to perhaps use this to sort the straps out on this dress, and give them a little bit more zhuzh, maybe even like bring it down into this section. I might have a go at making my own binding so that I could like do binding around here so that it all ties in. We'll see how much time I get. I'm going to do my best to show you as much as I can and as much as I remember to record of me making and figuring out what I'm doing with all these outfits.
Hi guys, I've just had a delivery, so I thought I'd come and show you, or at least film, this next part for my Patronus outfit. So I got off of Etsy these pins, as you can see. They're both doggos, it's just one's got pointy ears and one's got floppy ears. They also glow in the dark. They are by a seller called Lumos_pins. Just there if you want to have a look. And this means that I can finish my bows for my Patronus outfit. Because what I wanted to do with these, I'm hoping it's going to work. Sometimes I have an idea and it just doesn't. So these ones haven't been stitched down yet, at least as in the silver bit in the middle hasn't been stitched down. Because my plan was to put the pin in the centre and push that through and out the other side if I can, which is obviously going to prove more difficult than I thought. Oh, helps if you don't go through the wire. But yeah, put those through like so, and then put the back on, then sew this over the top so that I then can attach that to that. That's the plan anyway. So I'm going to go away and figure out how to get these in, and then I'll come back and show you once they're in place. So that's one of them almost done. I did have to deconstruct this a little bit because the pin wouldn't go through so many layers, so it's actually just gone through this one. So the clasp is behind this bow, and then I've wrapped the silver bit around to connect this bow, and this bit. Stitched that bit into place, and then I've stitched that at the top at the back as well so that it's attached to this one. I still think I will probably put some glue underneath here just to firmly secure that down. Better to have more attachments than not enough, but that's one of them, and now I've just got to do the same to the other one, and that will be my Patronus bows done. The other thing I'll just quickly show you while I'm on is, so for me, if I had a Patronus, obviously I know you can take the tests and stuff, but this is based off like what I feel my Patronus would be. My Patronus would probably be some kind of dog. I would like it to be my dog that we lost a couple of years ago. That would be very cool if Patronuses were real, because I feel like it's sort of like a part of your spirit kind of thing. At least that's how I see Patronuses. But that's why I've gone with like doggos. But so that I could have some earrings that sort of like fit the theme and the colour and everything. These are also off Etsy, and I will obviously link all the Etsy stores that I've bought bits and pieces from in these videos below. And I will try to let you know where I have altered the stuff that I bought from Etsy to suit what I needed it for, just so you know what you're getting. Anyway, I managed to find these really cute, you can see through the cellophane, really cute blue glittery paw earrings, and I felt like that was perfect to go with my Patronus outfit, because obviously I've gone with a doggy theme. But yeah, I will also film the actual pins that I originally bought to do this with. They were like the official Funko Pop ones, and they were on Amazon for like, what, $3.99? And so in my head, I thought they were this size. That's what I thought I was getting. I thought I was getting Ron Weasley's Jack Russell pin that would be like that. How wrong I was. I obviously didn't realise that these were a thing, but obviously Funko Pop, who does the Loungefly and the little bobbleheads and stuff, clearly do a pin set. The pin was like this big, and I was like, I'm not sure that's going to fit. So that's why I had to go re-looking for something else. I have obviously used one of them on my display unit in the other room for my Harry Potter, but I do still have one spare. So maybe in the future I'll do some kind of like competition and send it out to somebody who may want it. Maybe through doing like a comic competition or something. But yeah, so that's why these are taking me a little bit longer to finish off, because I had to rethink, because the size of the pin that came was, well, like the size of that. It was massive. I'll show it to you at some point.
It is currently 10 to 10 on a Saturday night, and my brain decided that it was a good time to start getting creative. So I've been thinking about how I was going to alter the straps on the Patronus dress, and give myself a bit more of a sleeve to stop any rubbing with the backpack and stuff like that, and just to elevate it a little bit more. And I said I was going to use the starry fabric from what I've made the bows out of, somehow in it to like incorporate them and sort of link it all. But then I remembered I've cut this off a previous project that just didn't work, but it's this beautiful sort of like two-tone fabric. It's really pretty. Anyway, plan. While finding this, I also found this, which is something I cut off of another item of clothing, which is a sleeve, and it is a flutter type sleeve, and it just so happens to perfectly fit the armhole of the Patronus dress. So I'm going to use that as my pattern to create two sleeves with the starry fabric underneath and then this like shiny stuff over the top. I need to also make some alterations to the straps of the actual dress for this to work. Because of the crisscross on the back, it does mean I have to lose that, but I think this is going to elevate it enough that it won't matter. I have got to be very, very strategic in how I cut this, because I've only got this tiny bit of this particular fabric, the starry one. So obviously I've lined it up here, and I should just, I think, be able to get the second one out of that bit that's remaining. I will probably cut the velour slightly bigger, because I have got a bit more of this. I'm probably not calling that even the right fabric, but this stuff. Because I've got a bit more of that, I want to be able to like slightly gather it a little bit more, so that you get more of like a wavy effect over the top of this fabric. So that'll be the plan, whether I cut this all out tonight or whether I save it for tomorrow. But that is my current plan for that dress, and I think that'll look really pretty, and it will tie in the bows, which I'll just quickly show you. So obviously the original dress had the straps going up and over and down to the back,
I tried it on. This has nothing to do with support at all, with the way it's designed. So all I've done is, just to show you, is I've cut one off already and I've repositioned it so that this is like a double strap now. And my plan will be, because you won't see it, I'm going to put a piece of material behind here, just a solid piece of material. I could just be scrap fabric because you're not going to see it. And then obviously I will attach the sleeve to this one, because then once I fold it back over, it will hide this second strap and it will hide all the things that I've done underneath to fill that in to make it a bit more secure. And then obviously you'll have the floaty sleeve with the floor over the top to go with the rest of the dress. And then obviously that fabric will tie in nicely with the fabric that I've got in the bows. I do also have coming sort of a neck scarf that is the same pattern as the bag that I'm using for this one. And I'm hoping to sort of just use it for the fabric, maybe make a headband or something like that, or maybe some kind of belt. Don't know. I won't know until it gets here because I won't know how much fabric I've got to play with. But that's just so that I can just pull in the actual bag pattern a little bit more. Obviously, because most of this is just like my interpretation of this particular loungefly bag. Now I've got all my pieces cut out. Obviously, I've got two of these ones and two of the other ones. I've deliberately made these ones slightly bigger so that I could do some gathering, just to give myself a little bit more shape on the shoulder. So from the middle point, they are 2 inches either side, too long. My plan is to put a long stitch to here, and then gather it till it gets to this point, so that should create me some nice light ruffles. And then I will attach this part to one of the bases and hem it underneath, purely because I know I was originally just going to leave it loose, but this fabric is a nightmare to hem. And if I stitch it to this, so it literally has an overlay on top of the bottom fabric, it's just going to stop it from fraying, and it'll just give me like a neater finish. So that's the plan for today, is to try and get this part of the dress done, because if I can get this in and inserted today, that will mean that my Patronus outfit is 80% done. I'll just be waiting on that scarf to see what I can do to use that in the outfit. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to get these bits gathered, get them all attached, and then I'll come back and show you how they've turned out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. Right, so we are now all pinned in place to do the hem of the sleeve. If I flip it over, this is what it currently looks like. I'll stand up so you can see it better. So yeah, I'm now just going to hem the bottom of this because it's much easier to hem it while it's flat. And then once I've put the backing onto the straps on the dress, we'll insert it. But this is what we're looking like so far. Like I said, I've attached the shiny stuff to the other stuff just to give it a bit more stability, because this frays really, really badly. So by doing that, I'm hoping that will stop it from fraying and pulling apart. So I have got both of them pinned. I'm just about to sew them together, and hopefully next time you see these sleeves, they will be on the dress. So I've sewn in the little patches behind just to make this a bit thicker for me to be able to attach the sleeves to. It's not overly neat. I mean, if I was making this so that it would be on show, obviously I would have done this a lot differently. But this is literally just to add a bit more stability so that I can attach the sleeve to this section, and it just gives something more to lay on. It also just means that hopefully this won't rub now on my shoulders, because I've made sure this bit is on the top so that I haven't got like an uneven bit underneath. So that's both sides done. I had to put a little tuck in here, but you won't notice it once I've got the sleeves in place. So that's the next job, is to pin the sleeves and get those sewn in. And yeah, that will be probably almost done with this outfit. I may still add a little bit of sparkle to the main body of the dress, but that's a really quick and easy thing that I can do because I've got some gemstones. But yeah, so that's this next bit almost done.
Hey guys, so I have inserted the sleeves now. This is what they're looking like at the moment. I then did try on the dress with the sleeves inserted, and I'll be quite honest, I didn't like the way they sat, and I just didn't like the way that they were looking. I think because the dress is so lightweight and like floaty, they're just a bit too like stiff. So a couple of options. One of them is that I alter it so that it's actually just a cap sleeve. So rather than the sleeve going all the way around, it would just be this top bit, and it would that way not go underneath. Because I think the part that I didn't like is the fact that, because I haven't lined them, you could see all of the stitching inside. So that's one option. Option two is I basically take these off anyway, redo the strap bit underneath so that it's completely covered in this fabric, which would allow me to attach the sleeve on the outer bit, which might also help because I didn't want you to see it. The way I've had to do it is sort of like go on the inner seam, if you can see, and then sort of like cut across this section to reach this seam. Otherwise, you'd be able to see like that section of the strap. So there's a couple of options there, but I just wanted to show you that like sometimes I'll have an idea and it doesn't always go to plan and it doesn't always work out. So we have to rethink. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go away and have a rethink about these sleeves. But in the meantime, I have completed the bows with regards to these. So those are both of the bows all done, all glued together, all ready to go to be put on the shoes. So at least that side is done. So it is just a matter of finishing off the dress for that. But yeah, sometimes I have ideas and they don't work, and this is one of them. So like I said, we're gonna go back to the drawing board and see where we get to. So I've removed the sleeves. The next plan is to basically cut this particular strap off completely and just rebuild the strap from scratch. I haven't quite decided yet whether I'm going to do that using this blue fabric or using this ribbon. I also happened to find this shirt in a charity shop, which is almost like perfect, and it's a lot more lightweight, so this may get utilised, we'll see. But I'm also going to try and rescue part of this. I don't know how yet, but we'll see. So currently I'm working on redoing the straps for the Patronus dress. What I've done so far is I have cut out my strap from the starry fabric, but the back of it I'm using that fabric that I picked up the other day because you won't see that side. I have pinned down the edge right now. Then I'm going to sew around, leaving a gap one end so I can turn it inside out, and this will form the base of my strap. I'll then get that sort of pinned into place while I decide what I'm going to do about the actual sleeve. This is an example of the other one that I've already done. So I've sewn it all around, left the gap at the top so I can turn this inside out, and then I've just overlocked to keep it all nice and neat. So I'm just going to do the same with the other strap, and then I'll turn them the right way around. That's one of them turned the right way around. I've just put pins in place because what I'll go and do is I'll go and iron this so that it's nice and flat and lays all nicely. But I'm just going to show you how I turn them inside out. These are fortunately not too skinny. The skinnier you go, the harder it is to turn them inside out. But essentially, I'm just pushing the fabric up and through. And then I tend to get like a pencil. Some people use knitting needles, depending on, like I said, the thinness and narrowness. And I'm stuffing that all into the hole and then just keep pushing up and through. Sometimes it can get a little bit stuck, which it's doing here. You just got to find the part that will move still. There we go. There. So as you can see, let's push that all the way through. I'm then going to turn around to the more pointy end of my pencil. My pencil is blunt. It's not actually got any lead in it. Because then I'm going to go up to the very top and make sure I've really pushed out those corners as much as I can.
then there you go, that gives me another strap. And then I'm just going to do the same as I've done on the other one. I'm just putting some pins down the edges, and then I'm going to go and iron them flat, and then we can pin them into place on the dress. Let's see what we can do about some sleeves. On that sleeve front, I'm hoping, because I'm running out of time, that the shirt that I got from the charity shop, I might be able to unpick the sleeves off of that and just reattach them to this, and that will work. If that doesn't work, I will use the body of the fabric of that shirt to cut out 2 sleeves similar to the shape and style of the original sleeves that I tried. Like I said, I think the reason that they didn't work is because the fabric was, once attached together, just was too stiff, and so therefore wasn't giving that like floaty feel that I was hoping for. And against the material of the dress, or the body of the dress, it just didn't look right when I tried it on. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you'll have an idea and you'll try and execute it and it just won't work out the way you hoped it would. And that's fine. It's the whole point of trial and error. We live and learn. So yeah. Those are those 2 straps pinned down, ready to iron. And then we'll get them pinned onto the dress. And then we'll start having to play with some of the fabric to see what we can do with regards to putting some kind of sleeve on that particular dress. Hopefully, once I've done all that, that will be another outfit done. So that will be Haunted Mansion, tick. Patronus, tick. That just leaves 4 outfits to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 outfits to go. But I do have the supplies for everything else, so hopefully that will go quite quickly. I'm hoping to be done by the end of this week, so then that gives me a week to sort of like pack, etc. But yeah, I will come back once I have some more updates for you. Straps are pinned into place, so that's one side. I've ironed them all out now, and that's the back. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And then I'm using the existing sleeve off of that shirt to go into the side here. Again, this is just pinned at the moment. I just wanted to see what it looks like before I sew it in. But actually, the colour match of the bottom of this dress to the sleeve, with it being darker to light, works really well. I've still managed to keep, obviously, a bit of this in here to match in with the bows. But so far, I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll get the straps sewn in, and then we'll get the sleeve sewn in. The sleeve is ever so slightly too big. So at the moment there's a tuck here, but I'll try and make sure it's a little bit more central, and that'll just give the sleeves a little bit more of a feminine look. But so far, much happier with this variation than the previous one. I think it just feels like it goes better with the outfit, because obviously this is such a lightweight fabric and floaty. Having those sleeves be of a similar density is just going to work a bit better. So yeah, so far so good. Okay, these are both now pinned into place. So the one that I showed you before is this side, and that is just keeping the sleeve in its own integrity, still together at the bottom, all the way around, and then I would sort out this little tuck here to be more neat. Or the second option is that instead of it going and staying together at the bottom, so let me just lift this bit up, I've split the sleeve underneath so that it's more open and flowy. Obviously I would hem all this bit in the inside to make it look nice and neat, just because I thought that might give me a little bit more movement in the sleeve when walking around. I've done a bit of a better job of putting a more even tuck in. I think it probably needs to come back this way ever so slightly, but when I pin it properly to sew, I'll work all that out. But that is where we are at the moment. But if I step back, that sort of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm pretty happy with this now. I still might put some little just gemstones dotted around just to give it a little bit of sparkle. But I'm really happy with that. I could also add a couple of sparkles into the sleeve bits here on top of where there are dots anyway. I think I'm probably going to go with this sleeve, just because I like the idea that it's going to give me a little bit more air underneath the armpit.
So yeah, the next job will be to pin it all into place properly and sew everything. And I'll come back when that's all done. Okay, so sleeves are all sewn in, straps and everything. I will need to just iron them down flat. I went with the split underneath, and I'm pretty happy with how that's now looking. Silhouette wise, obviously this is a bit baggier, so I'm still contemplating nipping in the waist, maybe with a belt or something. And fortunately, just as I was finishing off these bits, the snud that I'd ordered off eBay arrived, which is the fabric that is very similar to what's on my bag that I'm using, which is this fabric here. I've already taken it apart, undone it, and I've sort of like ironed it as best I can. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this fabric yet. I think I'll probably make some kind of hair accessory with it. So probably a headband of some description. But it is stretchy material, so I might be able to make one of those twisty headbands. I don't know whether you've seen people do online. But yeah, so this has got different Patronuses on it. There's an otter there, stag here, there's a doggo there. This one says always because it's got the doe, that which will be Severus's. There's a swan. So yeah, currently my first thought is to make some kind of belt out of it to go across the middle to cinch me in, and some kind of hair accessory. I mean, it's probably going to leave me with a lot of fabric left over, but we'll work on that first because that would be the last few things I needed to do. Maybe we'll add a trim somewhere, but at this point I don't want to overcomplicate things. But yeah. Right, so I've sewn the two pieces to make the headband. And I have ironed down the seam so it's as flat as I can get it. I'm now going to turn it the right side around, and then I'll probably press it again with the iron just to make it sure it's super flat. And then I'll come back and show you how we make the twisty headband, how it all goes together. And fingers crossed, it'll work. So I've pressed out the two straps. And then from what I can tell, essentially you just fold one over the other like so, and then you marry up the corners, so obviously shuffle it along. I'll just do that now. So the edges meet either side, and then essentially we just sew this bit to this bit, and that will create our knot. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm not going to lie to you, this is just taking me forever. Initially it's because I was trying to make it so that both pieces of my fabric, this stuff, didn't have the seam showing. So that was one mystery I had. And the next one was inserting this little bit at the back, which has got the elastic in, which I've also realised it is still slightly too big. But we can fix that with grips and stuff on the day. Not worried about that. I was also trying to get this so that this was the right way around as well, but my brain tonight just can't. So you can just see the seam there, but it's going to be underneath my hair. You're not going to notice it. But yes, so that is one like twisted knot headband done. I think because it is stretchy material, that's probably what is snuck me a little bit. But the way that you sew it all in means that the edges here are all hidden underneath, so you won't actually see those bits. So, headband done. We're almost there. That is the bow done for the back of the dress. As you can see, I went without the wadding. Thank you for those who commented to give me some advice on that. So all we now got to do is attach that to the belt, like so. And that's looking really cute. I think that means my Patronus outfit is done. So all we've got to do now, let me turn it around, is try it on, I guess. That is the Patronus outfit done. Got the bow in the back. I've managed to
find this little gemstone to go on the belt at the front. We've got the shoes, bows. This is the bag. We've also got the earrings and the headband. And if I come up close, you can see I put some sparkles on the sleeve as well. We've also added a little bit of sparkle to the front of the dress using some gemstones. I haven't put the laces in, but there they are ready to go. 2 down, 4 to go.